News in the world of Valheim today with a chunky public test patch. I'm going to hit the highlights here and give you some details that I've figured out since the patch dropped earlier today. As requested, there's a lot of optimization in this one. And new content, the much requested new build piece hexagonal gate. This is the most requested item since Mistlands dropped. Finally, we have it to match our marble building pieces. It can snap in the front, it can snap in the back. A thing of beauty. It doesn't look exactly like the one in the game, of course. This one looks shiny and new. To build one, you will need 8 Yggdrasil wood, 8 copper, and the black forge. Another new item is the fishing hat. Needs a super secret recipe. I'll show it to you and then, spoiler, I'll show you the recipe. So let's craft up a fishing hat. Fishing hat has a durability 100%, armor 8. That's about the same as a bronze helmet. But the special stuff is here that it gives you a fishing plus 20 and swim plus 20. And that's what it looks like. It's got like fish scales on the side and hooks and little parts of fish, like the little glowy thing. That's pretty cool, I gotta say. But it says it may only be reeled in by the most seasoned adventurers, and it's not kidding. This recipe over here is showing all of the different fish in the game. That's right. It takes one of every single fish in the game to be able to craft it. So if you want it, here's a little side adventure for you to do in the game. Might make it worth going and catching all the different kinds of fish now for a reason other than just decoration. And the fact that it gives you this bonus for fishing and swimming, I'm wondering if that might come in handy in the future as they add more to the ocean biome. And I also wonder if we'll be getting more buffs like this for other pieces of clothing. We are about to get a bunch of new clothes and, well, like 8 new clothing outfits, I think they said, and a bunch of hats. So I wonder if these other hats are going to have some kind of special benefit going with them as well. They're not mentioned in the patch notes, but they have already told us they're coming and shown us some samples of some of them. So hopefully when it goes live, they or part of them will be included. Balance and tweaks. Players can now use a trophy on ballistas to limit what it will shoot at. Let's take a look at this. Ballistas have been like the most controversial thing. So right now it has increased the ammunition to hold up to 40. And it's targeting everything, including the player right now, which is how it was before. But now you have also this option, set target with trophy. So when I give it a Grey Dwarf trophy, it targets the Grey Dwarfs, but fortunately it does not use up my trophy. So if you have a unique trophy you want to set it for, you still get to keep your trophy. Now if I pop a Grey Dwarf out here, bye-bye. But something I want to test is they said something about a possibility of one trophy doing sets of mobs. So let's put something in the same family, say maybe a brute. Is it going to attack the brute? Doesn't look like it. Nope. So that's kind of a bummer. That means like if you want to attack seekers and seeker soldiers, it's not going to do all of them. You'll have to build multiple ballistas to get the different kinds of mobs. And of course, you will have to have a brute trophy in order to be able to target them as well. But like they've said, this thing is not supposed to be the be-all, end-all. They don't want it to be OP. Come here, jerk. Bye-bye. Seeker circling tweets, they now feel a bit more aggressive again. They had nerfed it to being every 5 seconds, and now it's back down to every 3 seconds. Y'all spit attack tweets. They now shoot 2 projectiles again, but the burst interval is increased. And it should be more visible so that you can try to avoid it. More fire damage now and less blunt damage. That blunt was serious. So before they nerfed the y'alls last time when it was doing 2 projectiles at a time, those were happening every 300 milliseconds, and now it's happening every 600 milliseconds. So twice as long as before to get out of the way of the second one if you can. Added post-queen night spawns of seekers, brutes, and ticks in meadows, black forest, mountain, and plains biomes. I know some people are not going to be happy about them being in the meadows, especially on some servers where the server is more advanced and newer people are coming in. So the more advanced characters are just going to have to help the newer characters. Or new characters will need to stay inside at night, which the game kind of warns you about by saying that it is dangerous outside at night. Mistland's boss now tries to flee if unable to reach the player. Mobs inside Mistland's dungeons can now respawn. This is amazeballs. They've not done that for other biomes. I kind of would like it if they did, especially for things like the frost caves. Royal jelly piles in Mistland's dungeons are now respawning. Added hanging royal jelly piles as indicator in big dungeon rooms. Nice. Wolves can now eat chicken meat as they should. Mist torches are no longer a primary target for enemies, so hopefully that will help with some of the things that people saying they want to be able to see more, and then you can continue seeing more with your Mistland torches not constantly being eaten. They tweaked the portal size to the Mistland's boss room and on the Mistland's dungeon exits because people were cheesing by like mining around them and getting in and out when they shouldn't have been able to. Eider region is no longer affected by swimming or when encumbered, which makes sense because those things don't use Eider. Emir flesh is now purchasable from Haldor after Elder is dead instead of after Bone Mass. This is a good one that was requested because a lot of times people wanted to get the Emir flesh to make the sledge or to make the Frostner in order to battle Bone Mass, and they weren't able to do it. Health and resistance tweaks on some Diverger pieces. It doesn't say which ones or why. Possibly they may be doing that some on the wards inside the Diverger houses because people have been finding ways to take them out too easily, I guess. Bug fixes. I'm going to hit the highlights here. This is a super good one. Using the console command save will now also save your local character file when playing on a multiplayer server. That's massive because it was a pain. You had to go and separately save your local character files, which is good, especially if you're going back and forth between public test branch. You can lose your characters, so you don't have to do that manually anymore. Cleaned up unused locations in dungeon rooms to lower RAM usage. All things for optimization are good in my opinion. Some people are not going to be happy about this one. Hens now lay eggs closer to their bodies. Yes, that means that all of you that did those dropping hen breeders, they're broken. Not going to work anymore. Need a new plan. This is probably my favorite one. Periodic lag spike fix. Lots of people have been having some challenges since the last update in December, where there was these little tiny lag spikes every 10 minutes. So now they say resource unloading will now run while sleeping or pausing AFK for 5 seconds if it hasn't been run for 20 minutes or when calling CR from console, or if none of those things, every 60 minutes. So that's going to be making it happen not at times that it's going to like constantly be lagging us out and causing issues. Marble column build pieces tweak snap points. They were previously not 100% aligned with other pieces. This is talking about the height of these columns. So if I stack them up, they will stack to the exact correct height now. Although I still think the snap points on this thing is weird. Is it just me? What do y'all think about these snap points? It just seems so odd to me. Young Puff, Mage Cap, and a number of other pickables no longer leave invisible dead objects in the world when they are picked, and old dead objects are cleared when loaded in to increase performance and decrease save file size. Nice. All optimization is good, and this should also work retroactively. Pickable Diverger Stein no longer fall through objects. I have no idea what this is. Does anybody know what that is? Can you please tell me down in the comments? Not a clue. What's a pickable Diverger Stein? Okay, lots of fishing tweaks and fixes. They're really trying to make this a better system in the game. Fish found in ice caves now respawn correctly. That's the tetra, which is the highest fish you can find, I think. Am I right on that? Because it's really rare to find in those ice caves. So now they're still there when you go back. Higher tier fish now give slightly more raw fish, which is good. And there's a small chance for fish to give players some extra materials when they are successfully reeled in. It doesn't say what. Spoiler, spoiler. I'm about to tell you some of the things that you can get. What I've seen so far is you could get some amber pearls from perch. For some higher level fish, you can possibly get a couple blue jute, some royal jelly, soft tissue. So it really depends. And what you get is based on the fish that you get, the level of fish that you're catching. That's not all of them, obviously. So I'll be interested to hear what you guys find of what your rewards have been for fishing. Fishing bait is now returned if you pull it in without catching anything, so it's not wasted. That's nice. Fishing bait recipes now take basic fishing bait instead of previous biome fish. That's a really good one too, because it was becoming like such a pain. You finally get a fish and then you have to turn it into bait immediately. So accordingly, they've made the fishing bait sold from Halder now 20 instead of 40. That's nice. Fish will now try to escape when hooked. They will wobble and splash in the water when they try to escape, which increases the stamina usage when pulling in. When they're not trying to escape, the stamina usage for pulling in is reduced. Tetra can now spawn at higher levels. Tuna can now only spawn in the ocean biome. Higher level fish only jump in the ocean biome. See him trying to get away there? Gotcha. And slightly increased skill gain when fishing. See, we have this fishing skill at the bottom right now. I have a plus 20 in blue happening right now because I'm wearing the fishing hat. And also for swimming, I have a plus 20 because I'm wearing my fishing hat. It's nice that it shows the difference in blue now for the special effect I'm getting from wearing my hat. Might be nice if they did that for other special skills we get, like sneaking. And hopefully we'll be getting more special skills. Something interesting is if I catch a fish and I throw it back into the water, it will take off swimming again. So this could potentially be used to stock a pond maybe and practice your fishing skill. Get that fishing skill up. Let me know if anybody tries that. Networking fixes. I'm going to hit the highlights. Major improvements in how the game handles multiplayer sessions when going offline or disconnect. It now tries more often to succeed with creating lobbies. Added a pop-up message where players are trying to start a server where they're not signed in correctly, i.e. being offline in some way. So it gives you a bit of information of how to fix it, what you're doing, what your problem is. Added support for non-crossplay PlayFab servers and Xbox Network users. With the crossplay privilege, can only host and join non-crossplay supported servers. I know some people were asking if the PlayFab fixes were going to be only for Xbox stuff, but it's not only for Xbox stuff. So that should help you out as well. And it also does show that they are continuing to work on the Xbox crossplay, which is going to be coming out this spring. We don't have an exact date yet. Improved performance and behavior of local server lists. And there's some other like really detailed ones that basically they're just working on making everything more optimized and work more effectively. Some miscellaneous notes. Reduced lighting flashes accessibility option added for Thunder, Monster, and Player Elemental effects, the Galder table, and the Obliterator in Portal. They announced earlier, a few weeks ago, that they were doing some optimization stuff for accessibility for people with special needs. And so this is one of the things that they got feedback on and they've added into the game. So if I look in my settings, go to miscellaneous, there is this option right here to reduce flashing lights. You also have this option now, enable Raven hints or untick that. And you don't have to be typing in the console command tutorial toggle. It'll just stay off. And the tutorial toggle isn't even there anymore now. They have a few new console commands added and then some improvements made for the manage saves menu, and localization updated. I'll be looking into more of all of these details. Let me know what you like, what you don't like about these patch notes, and we can get some feedback to the devs. They definitely listen and need feedback on the public test. I don't expect this to be in public test super long, so make sure to subscribe for all things Valheim. Happy gaming!